Welcome to Riding Japan, going camping, or should I say camping Japan. So today I'm trying something a bit different. I've done something similar before, but I don't think I've ever uploaded the video. So this is I call it the river place because I can come here fairly quickly by bike or by car actually. And I wanted to, I have trouble like putting up a tent where I live, because I can't just go outside and put up a tent and, neighbors and stuff and people walking around, and it's not so convenient really. I'm getting ready for the 890. I want to collect all the stuff that I want to bring. I want to, like set up my kit and so on. And the problem is that the side bags, the hard case side bags, are still missing. I also have a bunch of videos to edit that I've shot already. I know it's a bit annoying maybe, because like you see a lot of, givey parts, something on the Ktm 890 Adventure R, and you're like, oh come on, where's the riding vids? But that's why that's why I uploaded that video with the 5 guys that rescued me. And one thing I wanted to test is that fire stove. And I brought the fire stove, I brought the tent. I also want to tell you at the beginning here that I shot a bunch of video when I got here and during the day, etc. So I'm going to just cut it in, and you can watch between the fire and me talking, and you can see the video that I'm editing in. Maybe it's not such a boring video this way. It's just like, like more laid back and relaxed, and I can just talk, I can just think about what I want to say, and it's probably much easier than thinking and writing and talking. I also brought that little chainsaw that I bought, and the plan is to put that on the bike, at least when I'm camping. Not always, obviously. I also brought the 252 stroke that I have. It doesn't have a plate yet, but I have some idea that I might go up north in summer and for a longer time. So you will notice that if I talk like this, I always jump around and switch topics very quickly. I hope you don't get annoyed and can follow my thought process. But I want to do some stuff on the highways. I want to put some money into it. I bought some kit, and that goes back to the fire stove here. That's it's not the biggest version that they have, but it's a fairly big version. There's one a little bit smaller. And I thought if this is too big for the bike, and I think it fits in the saddlebag, even though it looks huge, it's proper heavy though. And this will probably stay in the car, and the other one, the smaller one, will go in the bike when I have the hard shell cases that I mentioned before, because I need to think about how much, how big the side cases are that I haven't received yet, that I'm waiting for. So another thing is solar panel, but not like big install solar panel on the car itself, because it's too much trouble, I think. Just one panel that I can fold up and bring. And there's this battery system, which is like a plug and play, ready to go battery that's like 20 kilo. You can carry it around. And the bigger version, and you will notice looking at the stove that I usually go for the big stuff first, and then I regret about it by the smaller stuff. But the battery is pretty huge, and I think 1500 or 1800 watt, and I can, you could run a microwave off it, right? The battery will go in the car. I can charge all my stuff. I've run into trouble today because I wasn't really prepared, and I just thought about going yesterday evening or yesterday afternoon-ish. I bought some meat at Costco, which we'll see in a minute, and bought some steak and stuff. And I came here, wanted to test the stove, put up the tent, so it's ready to go, and that I know how it works. And maybe I need to change something. I changed I don't know what they are called, the hooks or whatever. The hooks that are going in the ground. I've got some proper steel ones that don't bend, but I noticed that the stock ones, or the regular ones that came with it, were not the cheapest shit kind. Also, I really like that tent. I've never used it, but all the ropes are already attached. Everything's ready to go. It's a one-person tent. It might be a bit short. I need to see how I fit in it. But I didn't, spend enough time to properly peg it down. I just put in the four big ones and checked how it works. But it looks good, and that'll be on the bike. A friend of mine has the 2 to 3 people tent. I thought that was too big. I said, yeah, we're still in Tokyo. There are helicopters flying around here, usually checking. I don't know if that's Japan or if that's America, but they always got the spotlight. And a while ago, like a couple of years ago, I was a bit further down, had like a big fire going. I made like a wall of rocks, and I burned every bush and every tree that I could find. There's a lot of driftwood and stuff coming when there's like, not tsunami, what's the other one? Typhoon type thing, flushing all the trees down. And I just made a big fire, and that helicopter was hovering over me with the spotlight going down. I also found a burned out car once. So I don't know what he was checking, but they didn't. I was like, oh, maybe the police will show up now, but nothing's ever happened. I've come here so many times. I just go here during the week because on the weekend it's just way too many people. This is like a hidden spot that everybody knows about, and there's all kinds of stuff here. It's really funny. Like behind me, I have some more video. Some fishermen. I don't know what they did. If they dammed it up or I don't know exactly, but I don't think that was here before. At the front, at the left side there, at the entrance, they blocked it off with trees and stuff, so the bike guys don't come down there. I was thinking about putting the fire there and just burning all their shit, but I decided not to. You will notice that I brought the big chainsaw as well as the little one for a bit of a test. I wanted to see how it goes, and that tree apparently, it fell down and it cracked at the stump and it broke off further up. You can see that in the video. I'm just ripping it off there and cutting it small. Some of the wood is really dry. The bigger stuff on the bottom is not so dry. I had some trouble, and I like bright, big and bright flames. That's the one thing about the stove. I think the other version might be a bit better because it's further down. It's not as tall. Also, I'm using this kind of stand thingy to not burn the floor, to lift it off the ground. Maybe you can see that here. I'm gonna put the video in, obviously. And the base plate is so heavy. I mean, maybe I can weigh it for the video if I remember, but it was so heavy. And even that stuff on the top, I think when I buy the smaller version, which is, I'm not 100% sure, I don't want to guess because I can just look it up and write the measurements in the video, but the smaller one is obviously smaller, and I think it's like, I don't need that top thing, like that top metal thing that you saw me cooking, or maybe see me later cooking. It fits both, but I don't think I needed to bring on the oh, I'm sorry, I'm losing track of what I want to say. If I bring the smaller stove on the bike, I don't need to bring that top thing, because I just fiddle around with it and maybe buy some screws and drill them on the top, and just so a pan can stand. I also have like a big 36 centimeter griddle plate thingy on the top that fits in the top case. I thought that might be a good idea. I liked it. I didn't use it today. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about the food. If I have a day trip, I mean, of course I can go to a supermarket and stuff, but if I go on a day trip, I usually prepare the food before and bring it, because it's just way more convenient. I mean, of course you can cut stuff when you're at the fire at the camping spot, but I like it when it's dark and have the fire going. And I've tried steak several times with grilling, and I can grill a steak, medium steak, no problem. But the first time I came here, I think I made a video of that. That was filet, and it's such a waste, because like a big block of filet, beef tenderloin, I think is the proper word, and or wherever you're from. And the biggest problem was that I couldn't really fry it well, because I was, how should I say, it was too hot, right? The fire is really hot, you can't really see well, you char the outside to shit, and then the inside is raw, and I don't really like that. I mean, I can eat a medium steak, but that was like blue, if you know what that is. So I decided to not use filet when I go camping, because it's a waste of money. And hang on, now it's a nice bright fire. Smirnoff Ice. I always drink the girly drinks, if I drink. And I drink rarely. It's definitely the first time this year. I don't remember last year maybe, but I don't honestly remember. So I bought sirloin last time, and I tried it to make like a steak, but it's kind of big, flatter, obviously. You know, the sirloin cut and the fat and all of this stuff. Again, it's dark, and you don't know what you're putting in your mouth. Plus, I don't like the cutting stuff. Right? You have like a big steak. You need a plate. You need a fork. You need a knife. Everything's dark again, and you have to chew on that steak. So today I cut the Japanese or Korean barbecue style really thin slices, and pepper and salt, and threw them on the grill. I mean, they were not medium anymore. Some of the bigger chunks might have been, but it was really juicy, and all the fat stuff was extremely crunchy. That tasted really good. So that stove here is pretty hot. In the pot that you can see, if you're interested, that was what I prepared. So 1 bag of spinach, and 1 red pepper or capsicum or whatever, 1 onion, some bacon I had left over in the fridge, and like one of those overpriced Japanese mushroom bags. It's like 5 or 6 big button mushrooms or champignon or whatever you want to call them, and it cost 199 yen, which is around $1.50 for 6 fucking little mushrooms. Actually, usually 8 small ones and 6 big ones, whatever they can fit in it. Sometimes when they're in season, they have like these big bags full of white mushrooms, and I really like mushroom, and especially that type of mushroom. So I buy those usually to make pasta and stuff at home. But yeah, as I said, I did all the cutting, all the cleaning, and I have a big vacuum sealer. So I put it in the vacuum sealer and brought it just to close it, not really for preserving, vacuum sealer type, but just so I can, what do I want to say? So I can close it, as well as the steak. I think next time I pre-cut the steak too, so I don't have to do it in the car on my bed. Yeah, that was the food. Then I, fried it in the pan, and I put in a little bit of red wine that I had left over from some ragu or goulash or whatever you want to call it, what I cooked like a couple of months ago. Probably no alcohol in it, but it's like cooking red wine, so there's no alcohol in it anyway when you drink it, when you eat it. And then a bit of cream, and I did the spices off camera. But my complete kit, everything I have in the car, maybe I should do this next time and show it properly. The car is always set up for camping, right? I drive this camping stuff around all the time because I don't have a lot of space in my apartment either, or house, or whatever you want to call it. And I want to practically be ready to go. And then I bring these plastic cases, so all the food stuff, all this dirty stuff I throw in there, and then I go home, and then I wash it, and then I put it back in the car, so it's always ready to go. And I'm now working on the Ktm 890 kit, which I can prepare so that I can just throw on the saddlebags and then go, right? Like the one thing you always pack is some clothes, but all the camping stuff that you need, you just bring, right? So like all the other grill stuff that I prepared from usually or last time, because I have this guy now, I took it out or I put it in the plastic thing so it leaves the car, right? I only want to have everything in there that I need, but there's anything, I don't know, if you can think about something that I'm missing, you can tell me next time I do the proper video explaining what I carry constantly. So I can just throw on the bike, and I usually have gear, but I didn't bring any gear for the bike this time. I just brought my helmet and wear the shoes. Maybe you saw those red shitty shoes that I always wear when I'm outside. Someone gave them to me and kind of for free, and I don't know. I don't want to play with my, like proper clothes. When you go camping, you always like singe stuff and burn it and break it. So I usually wear these red ones. I was also wearing the red ones in a video, and I was actually considering reshooting that video because the shoes look so bad. But nobody complained, so that was kind of funny. So the next thing, what else is there? So I cut that tree. Maybe you saw the video. If not, you can see it now. I tested the big chainsaw, but I ran out of battery. The little one was nice. But I will do a proper video of the little one when it's on the bike. And the tree was greener than I thought it was, especially the second half. But I found another dead one. And I brought a big box of firewood, which is, I don't know why, but like I have a bit of a garden type thing in my apartment where I have my kayak, and there were these, I don't know what you call them. This is like pressed glued wood. So I'm not burning this for cooking, but I'm now getting rid of it, and then I'm gonna put the clean or new wood that I cut today that was a bit of green. I'm gonna put it in the box, bring it home, put it on my little garden thingy and let it dry out completely, and then every time I like having wood when I go somewhere, so I don't, run into trouble, especially with a car. I always carry wood. And on the bike, I have to think about that in the future. It's kind of stupid going somewhere bringing wood, but maybe I could stop somewhere and, like search for wood around the camping site. Because those official camping sites, they are usually picked clean. There's just so much stuff, and people don't usually bring a chainsaw, like a big one. Like the little one, I probably can't manage so much. Everybody with a handsaw can cut the same thing. But I'm just more, actually, I like it when the fire is nice and bright. We have got a bit of wind, which is not so bad. I hope the microphone helps. And I'm interested to see. I'm curious how the camping with the KTM is going to be, right? And now that the fire is lighting well, like you can see this, I don't know, they call it second combustion, and apparently in the bottom here, when the fire is burning, everything is hot. There's like a second wall on the side. I can probably put up a picture here. So the top hole, the row of holes, gives another, like, heated up oxygen. That's what's written down. And then the gas from the wood ignites, and then you have second combustion or whatever. But honestly, with that metal ring here, it actually burned a bit nicer. But I'm not going to bother now because I think it's too tall. I have a really low seated chair and I can't really look into the fire. And actually, this is pretty cold down here. I'm not really, like, my face is warm, but my legs are cold. So, I've had warmer fires. Like, maybe the little one and without the bottom plate thing, that's going to be better. I have to think about what chair I'm going to bring on the bike. And anyway, as I said, But I want to do more stuff, record more, do some interesting videos, and I don't know. Tomorrow, as I said, I just brought the small bike to do some testing. A friend of mine, he will know who he is, but I don't want to dox. You probably know him, or you know his Discord name or whatever, but I want to practice some balancing, like the balancing on the bike. A lot of this stuff translates to the big one, and I know that. And I've watched all the YouTube videos about explaining it all, but getting it all done is very different and difficult, and some bunny hop wheelies, and I've never really ridden that 250. I had a 350 4-stroke long time ago. But this is a nice fire now. Now it's really going. You can see the shitty red shoes, probably. So the 250, or people like 250s in Japan because they're basically 249.9 cc, and they don't need a vehicle inspection every 2 years when you are like for the government and stuff. So this bike is actually, it doesn't have a license plate yet because I didn't put one on, but once you have it on, it's just like an insurance thing, registration type. You don't have to go back like if you every 2 years and have everything checked. Like the police can stop you and complain, but if you have some indicators and stuff, they don't usually care. And I mean, with the knobby tires, I won't be riding around in Tokyo on the road. If you're off-road or if you're in the countryside, people won't really care, the cops won't really care, and you have a plate, you have indicators, and you look good enough, right? Like, I don't even have a mirror on this thing at the moment. I've seen a guy with a license plate on his backpack, so because he kept losing it or whatever. So the going up north, like as I said before, I'm jumping from story to story. The thing about going up north, I can fit my kayak and the 250 inside the Hi-Ace, then have the new battery and solar panel stuff, then go up north, and there's a big lake with a free camping site that I know of. And I heard that, for example, I know there's this Google map floating around in the gaijin scene. I don't know who made it or if Japanese know about it, but it shows a map, Google map of all free camping places. Like you can just go there. They're like government supported or something. Some of them are small, some of them I've seen that were closed, some of them I've seen that were completely gone. One, I went there and it was actually an old hotel which was turned into a campsite, but is now a shooting range. So I showed up there and walked in there with my luggage, and they were like, what the fuck is the gaijin doing here? That was also a couple of years ago. That was on the BMW. So I showed him the map and I asked, where's the camping space? And he's like, there's no camping space. This used to be a hotel, but it's a shooting range now. And I don't know what kind of shooting range, because they're so gun pissy here. They didn't even let me look. You can't really go inside. I heard that gun stores in Japan, they are invitation only or referral only and appointment only. So you can't really show up and show me a shotgun or something, which is kind of funny. But more about that maybe in another video. So I like to test out these camping spots on that map, find a few good ones. But I know the wood's gonna be picked clean, and if you go by bike, you may not have any wood, so I need to see. But yeah, I don't know. Going up north, there's a big lake, bring the kayak, ride around. That Hi-Ace actually has a big 3x3 meter tarp, and the metal poles, they broke, so I rebuilt them with proper pipe, and the tent that I have kind of clicks into the pipe setting, and that means that I have like a 2-point-something meter tall 3x3 cubicle with doors and windows and stuff that I've actually never properly used. I want to drive the highest to the lake up north. Again, battery and solar panel, and maybe bring my laptop, and then, the fire can here, bring some wood and have the 2-stroke with me so I can go on day trips, maybe go up the mountain and have a peek, go buy some food. I just need to put the license plate on, and then at the same time have the kayak with me, right? So it's gonna be an adventure. Might take a few days. I might want to try and do some carving videos. I've got proper knives that I bought in Germany because Japanese carving is completely different, but I want to try and start carving again, and maybe I can do some time lapse or something, put it on my channel. I think my channel, I wanted to evolve a little bit more. Some people say that, or some people have told me that I should play on the Japan side more, like go to Shibuya and show the girls and Kabukicho and Akihabara, but I just honestly, I don't give a fuck, right? Like I can't be bothered. Now at the moment, doing some city riding is maybe okay. And if you know Triple Rider, we've met before, we've done some dual vlogs. He lives in the city, he does like evening rides in the dark, talking about stuff, riding in the middle of the city center, but I have to go there, right? And I need to drive 1 hour just to get in there. It's kind of like the wrong direction for me. It's like now I kind of went north, kind of like, what was it? I don't really know. Southeast-ish, southwest-ish, and I have to go straight east just to find the city center and then go back home. And I want to go the other way and go to Oktama and find mountains, go camping. And so I want to put on my channel what I feel like doing, and you're just part of it. The videos are for myself, for my future, for whoever I know who wants to watch them. I do re-watch them sometimes myself. It's making good memories, to be honest. But I don't need some Kabakula, Akihabara production thing, right? Like I'm not a big fan of that. So there's other people who do this kind of stuff. It's like going to some turnpikes and wow, seeing the sports cars and stuff. Like if I see something because it's there, like coincidentally, then I can film it. But I'm not I don't know. I know I'm not going to get rich of this. And I know that when the adpocalypse happened and all the YouTubers, the small guys, didn't get paid anymore. I mean, I didn't make a lot of money, but it was like a gas tank every month or two. I kind of liked that, but now it's just like you have no chance to see anything. I think the clouds just moved and the moon's coming out. I can't even see it, but it's really bright now. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should rename this Rambling Near Campfire. That's probably the better title for this video. I know another thing that I prepared that I filmed, because it might be a little bit funny, but in this location there's obviously no toilet, right? And it's like it's a river bed. It's in Tokyo, and it is really long, I think, and it's also proper wide. And there are, as I said, fishing. There's 2 small little airfields for drones and stuff. Like I've seen 1 meter plus wingspan planes take off and land on that thing. Maybe I can find some old video, but sorry if I can't find it. So it's a lot of people having hobbies here. Then if you go further up, like I'm now, what I want to say is down, And if you go further up, there's a bit of a dam, like a concrete dam. And before that, everything is kind of flooded. And I mean, I've jumped off the kayak and I can still stand, but I'm 185. And I've been testing with a paddle, and I could always find the ground. So it's not very deep, but there's windsurfers, and I've seen jet skis, big ones and small ones, and other like kayak. I mean, it's not very big, right? But it's like an hour 30 or so from my house, sometimes shorter depending on traffic. And I really like coming here. It's kind of easy. And what do I want to say? I kind of lost track again. It's a lot of fun, right? So yeah, now I remember. Sorry about that. I wanted to talk about the toilet issue. The problem is that there's no toilet here, and you can go, but now I've drunk and I wouldn't drive anymore. So if you do need to take a shit, then you need to take a shit in the woods. So, but there's nobody here. That's a good thing, right? So I saw a video many years ago where someone explained how to take a shit in the woods, which kind of sounds funny or stupid. But if you've never done it, then you probably, number one is you're ashamed because, you know, like you're literally taking a shit in the woods. The second thing is like it's completely new territory, and you might need some pointers. And I thought I gonna film something before. Don't worry, it's not a deuce. I'm still wearing my pants, but I want to talk about technique a little bit. And I know it sounds silly, but it's literally technique. Yeah, the fire's really going, huh? That pressed glued wood shit really likes to burn hot. Going back to the story. So the technique I learned in a video, and then I later tried out. First of all, if you've never done it before, do yourself a favor and take your pants off completely. And also take off your underwear completely. Again, might be kind of scared. You can take your shoes off if you want to. I never do that. But the pants off is probably okay. Then there's 2 or 3 different ways to do it. But as a guy, just to, I don't know, I think it's okay to talk about this because, you know, we're all adults and you may need it. And I do this actually camping in the mountains and stuff. I don't go to camping places, right? So if you're a guy, taking a piss first is way easier other than doing it squatting, especially if you don't want to take off your pants, which I don't do anymore, but I recommend it if it's your first time. The second thing is you can always find a tree because that's easy. And I'm going to cut the video in now. The first one is that you use the tree as a backrest. And you squat down, but you don't squat down completely because you're actually leaning on the tree. That's the first one. That's actually quite comfortable. And you don't need anything extra, like no gear or something. So the second version, if you cannot squat down and come back up by yourself because, I don't know, you're too fat or you're too old or any other kind of problem regarding health, using a loop, using a belt or rope and swinging it around the tree is the second way. And that's the thing I learned in that video that I mentioned before, which really kind of blew my mind. And it works well because getting up, you can pull with your arms as well as push with your legs. And the last one is, but you have to kind of be lucky. The last one is you find a proper branch that is not too high. The one I'm sitting on right now is actually too high. And you have to balance so you don't fall over in the back. The other thing is, if you fall front, at least you can brace yourself. If you fall back, it's pretty bad. First of all, you land in your shit. Might hit your head or something. So the last thing is, I've done it once. I don't recommend it. I mean, it's fun to sit on it because it feels like a toilet, but yeah, it's not the same. Second thing, if you're on a bike, put toilet paper under your seat in a vacuum sealed bag or Ziploc bag or something. Put it under your seat. Bring toilet paper wherever you go. I do that, and you never know. Like, I went hiking. Oh no, hiking is the wrong word. I went bike riding with someone, and we walked around a path because we took a break and from riding, and we walked past the river, and he actually stepped in someone else's shit. So having toilet paper is actually pretty good. Someone took a shit on the path. I don't know why, but it was definitely human. It was not a fucking dog or something. There was receipt paper from like a supermarket or something. They took out of their wallet and wiped their ass with it. It wasn't me, but I was laughing, and then I went back and I found the toilet paper under my seat, and I brought it to him so he could wipe his shoes. But he was super pissed off. So yeah, I mean, this is like a crappy thing to do, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, taking a shit in the woods is something that you need to know, need to talk about, need to maybe learn if you ever do camping. And I was on a Tinder date once, which was funny, and we kind of had a bit of a relationship for a while. And she was a hiking girl, and she called it picking flowers. So I'm gonna go pick some flowers, and then she would just run away and take a shit in the woods somewhere. So it's just, it's what you have to do. And the good thing is, like, if I find a new girl now, bloody hell, I need to cross that bridge again. So who knows? Who knows if she can deal with that? I mean, as a guy, we have it easier, a lot easier. Oh no, this stuff is wet. Oops, I'm getting the dry stuff. Hang on. Let's try this a little bit. I know I'm faffing around. Everybody on YouTube is shaking their head right now. I've built this way too high. The problem is, well, first of all, I'm very impressed because I lost my phone. Actually, I dropped it, and it was right actually under the foot of the grill. So the good thing is it didn't melt. So I didn't break my phone. Good. Well, that was pretty nice. Now I'm using a fan, and all my stuff is Makita, and all of it is 18 volt Makita in Japan. They do 18 volt, 80 volt, 18. What do I want to say? 18 volt. Sorry. And I have a fan, the chainsaw, all this other stuff. Even my vacuum cleaner in the house is 18 volt, which works pretty well, and you can always switch the batteries and stuff. Even the light that I was using, because my headlight was dead, is 18 volt. This one here, which actually works well too. Some of the stuff is not so refined, but this actually works well enough. And yeah, I want to burn through this big log just out of shits and giggles, and maybe split it later if I'm not too drunk. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I think it's time to cut it short here. It's like an hour long probably, hopefully. Well, hopefully not, but I mean, I need the watch hours. If anyone actually wants to watch the video for an hour, I hope you enjoyed it this far, and see you guys on another one. Maybe next time we can bring some other people. And I have some plans with some people that maybe can do a video with me in Japan, but I have to see how this goes. So yeah, take care and have a nice day, evening, whatever. See you on another one. Goodbye.